Testing the stream. 4 seconds in and here we go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Potts, and in today's video we're going to be doing a Q&A web developer edition. A test is complete, so let's go up here, click edit in public. Testing. Hopefully it's all good. Okay, we are live. I'm just waiting for people to fill in and then we will go. I think. I hope. Let's hope so. Let's share this. Share. Share. Anybody who's in it, I am literally just sharing this out. I'm getting hype up. This is just my lunch, so I'm just going to quickly do a lunch stream. I best make sure all my notifications are off. And we're good. Okay. Let's also share to... Cool. I think this is working. How's the stream going? Stream settings, viewer activity, stream health. That's what I want. Excellent. Good. Okay, anybody who's joined in, say hello. Ask me any questions you want. I'm just going to wait for the stream to fill up a little bit before I do anything. So, fire away. Okay, I think we're back. Hopefully. Are we still streaming? Yes. What's up, Dylan? How are you doing, buddy? I'm literally just trying to get my stream to work, so you may have... Sorry, my mic was really far away and I didn't realise. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my stream working. So, I think I'm good. Hey, that's good then. That's good, man. Cool. So, I think this is good. So, I might... Alright, that's good though. It's good on your... It's freezing on mine, so I don't know what's wrong with my stream settings. No, it says I'm fine. My stream says it's fine. That's good then. As long as my stream says it's all good. What's up, everybody? Anybody here? Feel free to ask me any questions about web development or anything you really want to ask me. I'm here for half an hour until my lunch is done. Hi, Tyler. How you doing? Yo, Yasko. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but hello. How are you? I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Let me know if the audio quality is okay. It's a different set than I normally use, so if it's bad at all, please let me know. Hey, Ratna, sorry. Sorry if I butcher anyone's name today. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. You didn't even ask, but thought I'd tell you anyway. So, fire away with any questions you guys have about web developers, web development, or anything you actually want to talk about. Cool. Questions will be answered in order unless there is a super chat, and in that place it will be answered first or next after whatever question I'm currently asking. Yasko said, I got my first job as a web developer 4 months ago. What are the tips you can give to a junior? Listen to your leads, but also do experiment. when you're a junior, it's all about learning. People will understand that you are learning, and you should put a lot of effort into learning after work as well, just to get the skill level up. Make sure you're learning concepts that are to do with your work and not to do with your work, because else you'll end up getting in that loop where, I learned this new skill. Hey boss, can we use this new skill? And then your boss will say no, because they've been doing whatever they do for a very long time. So in your first job as a junior developer, I would suggest following what your leads say. Obviously, if your lead says you should do it this way, you should probably listen to them if you've been doing it for a long time. If you do think there's a better way to do it, then mention it to them, and they might debunk your theory or say, well, actually, that's a great idea. But yeah, it's just all about learning as a junior developer. There's nothing major you should be doing. You should just be learning everything you can to become the best developer you can. So you want to learn from everyone and everything, even other roles, not even just your role. You want to learn from, let's say, the best. So let's say you want to learn from your other developers, your peers. So you want to learn from your project managers, what they do. You want to learn all about their stuff. Womble Spool said, the live notification just went out. Stick around and ask the JavaScript wizard some questions. Hype man, I need to give him some hype power. So I said we can give him some, add to moderator. There you go, Dylan. You're now a moderator of my channel. Matt Harris said, happy Wednesday, my dude. What's the biggest misconception about web development? Oh, that's a good question, Matt. Biggest misconception is that it's that all web developers are hackers, or we can all fix any computers. Now, I've done a degree in IT support, so I know how to build and fix computers myself. So for me, I get those questions quite a lot. But a lot of people ask me, hey, what's the best? I know you're a web developer and stuff. What's the best gaming PC I could buy? I'm like, I mean, I know this stuff, but you're asking me because I'm a web developer, and that's not true. And no, we're not hackers. We don't hack everything. Maybe there are some people who do hacking, but the most I've hacked is video games. So probably the biggest misconception is that we can hack anything. We can't. Some of us can. I'm not going to disclose if I can or not, but there we go. That's the answer. But that was a good question, man. That was a hard question as well. No One From Earth, good name. How to get the first job. Should I learn React, Redux, and then apply? I know JavaScript and have 4 mini projects using Vanilla.js and also a React project. To get your first job, it's all about learning the basics. You want to even start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You need to know those 3 basics, because every web development project will need some sort of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, especially if you're on the front end. Once you've learned just the basics of that, then you can move on to React and stuff. You want to get good, you want to make some projects. So just start making, so you've got 4 projects. I'd say have 8. Keep making projects. Even once you're done, keep making projects, put them on your GitHub, make a portfolio of all your projects you've done and share them around. Yasko said, aha, so true. Can you hack this Facebook account? Yeah, that is literally what I get all the time. It's so weird, man. Hey Tyler, your 100 days of code in early 2019 is which you used Vue was my first introduction to web development, HTML, SAS. Today I'm making front ends using React for an investment bank. Thanks for everything. Yo, dude, that is amazing news. I'm happy I could help you on your journey, and that's what I do, or that's what I aim to do, to help other people learn everything about what they can do. Hardik said, hi Tyler, I was having a question about building a small e-commerce website. What's your go-to e-commerce provider to handle inventory, payment, and checkout related stuff, e.g. Shopify or something? I use WordPress cross with WooCommerce. It's what my shop is built on. It's so easy to set up and use as well. I've created a basic theme for my shop, potsyoriginal.com, if you want to go see it. It's so basic, and it just works out of the box. You just set up whoever you want. You can have PayPal, you can have integrations. WordPress is one of my go-to things because I do it for my work. Everyone needs a WordPress website or basic clients. And you can pretty much do anything for WordPress as well. So, I'd say WooCommerce. Shopify is something I've looked at. I've also looked at a few other ones, but WooCommerce is the easiest and best one I've seen. A couple of my friends have recently started Wix sites. I don't recommend Wix. Please come to a good developer who knows what he's doing. Don't go to them. They're stealing our money. But yeah, no, WooCommerce is my recommendation. Rasif, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. What is client-side and server-side? So client-side is, let's say, your browser. So what you see on the browser. Server-side is what's on a server elsewhere, which is being sent to your browser. It's hard to really explain, but let's say you have a server with a database. You have a database. The server hits the database, says, hey, this client submitted a form. Can we save this data? And then it sends it to the server. And then the server will send back to the web browser, which is the client, saying, hey, this is the information we will send back. So a client could be like your phone, so like an app on your phone, and then the server could be somewhere else. It could be a browser on your phone, it could be on your web, it could be on your desktop. A client is basically what your clients see. The server is the back end stuff, so it's front end and back end kind of situation. Mohammed said, hi Tyler, hey man, how you doing? Logo Geek said, which platform do you think would be best in the future for those who are learning web development right now? Oof, good question. WordPress is one of the best. If you're going freelance, WordPress is one of the best. Everyone needs a WordPress site and you can set them up so quickly. But let's talk about modern tech. Vue.js is rising fast and it's doing really good, and I think it's going to surpass React with everything going forward. Although React is still one of the biggest and it will still be a massive platform going forward, or library framework. But I think, obviously, you want to look at Nuxt.js, Next.js, whichever one you prefer, Vue or React, or even just vanilla JavaScript. If you're going vanilla JavaScript, maybe Laravel or WordPress or something like that would probably be best platform. But it depends what you're making. It all depends on the projects you are making at the time. To get a starter job, it's just learning the languages. You just got to learn the languages and how they work. Server side, what front end is, what back end is, all those things. Wumble Spall there again with the hype. Hardik said, amazing, thanks. You're welcome. P Sung said, do you think Svelt will take over someday? I don't think so, no. It's got some momentum at the minute and it might pick up, but unless I see that massive spike, it won't. I've posted, so here's just from my YouTube experience, I've posted 2 videos on Svelt, and they didn't do great. They did very little, which isn't a bad thing. I didn't expect them to do amazingly to start. They were quite new concepts. But from my experience, when I first posted about Vue.js and React, they blew up instantly. So a lot more people want to learn React and learn Vue.js than they did when Svelte was released. To everyone else, Svelte is just another JavaScript framework. Mohammed said, what's your tip for new freelancers who are struggling because of so much competition? Stand out. It sounds stupid, but you need to stand out. You need to be putting work out there. What's great. You always have to be confident in your skills. So when I go to a client, I'll be like, hey man, this is what I can do. This is how I'm going to do it. And if that's the solution for you, then come with me. Like, I'm one of the best you can pick. Like, you've got to be so confident. You just got to say, hey, look at me. This is what I could do. You have to have a good portfolio. You have to have something that stands out compared to other people. It's all about how you interact with them. If you're nice and you're kind and you're helpful, they're obviously going to pick you over someone who might have more skill than you, but they're rude and they're disrespectful and they don't listen to everything the client's saying. You just got to get in there. And also, don't give up. Just keep trying. Keep trying, keep pushing, and hopefully you should be able to boost straight past some of the stronger competition. You just got to get there. You got to find the right one. Start off small. Don't go for the big project. Start off small and then work your way up. Rasif said, thank you. How server-side language like Node.js, PHP, Django works, and why we need to use localhost to run it for development. You don't need to use localhost. You can run straight from a server if you want to. It is recommended that you go straight from you start on a local machine because you don't want to be doing stuff live and then it all breaks. Server-side languages like Node.js, PHP, and Django work by interacting. They're basically just languages sat on a server, and your front end will just send them a message like, hey, this is what I need. I need this information. And then they will find that information in a database or somewhere else, and then they will send that information straight to your client side. So again, Node.js, they all work slightly differently. I've never used Django properly. I've only ever taken a look at it and messed around slightly, so I can't really give you much on that. But PHP is obviously less reactive than Node.js. Node.js JavaScript, so they have their ups and downs. So PHP is really good, especially in the sense of WordPress and stuff like that, whereas Node.js is good for like some smaller web apps and stuff like that. I've never used Node.js on a big scale. But yeah, there's just loads of things you can look at on this. So No, server side is a massive thing to go over, and local host, you need a web server to run PHP and Node.js to run Node.js, of course. So you need a Node server on your local, or a PHP such as MAMP Pro, or WAMP if you're on Windows, and stuff like that to run PHP, because they need Apache. They need server-side things need a client to run them, and that's why you need a local development server. It's a big concept. I couldn't go over everything, but yeah, there's a lot you can learn from that. Lakshman, how you doing, man? It's good to see you again. He said, from web dev to app development, should I go for React Native or Flutter or Kotlin? Okay, I've never used Kotlin. Flutter, I've tried. I wasn't so keen on it. React Native, I love. I love that it's just web made into native. It's great, and I think it's the best one out of those three you've just picked. But a lot of people are talking about Flutter nowadays, so I might pick up Flutter again and come back to this question, but for now I'm going to say React Native. Flutter, however, keep an eye on it and maybe learn it if you think it's going to be worth the time. I am going to learn it. I'm going to look into it, and I think it's a great, it looks like a great platform, or, you know, framework, CSS, whatever it is. Mohammed said, thank you. Do you think Fiverr is a good platform to start freelancing? Yeah, I think it's a good platform. I think if you look at any of those platforms that offer like services like Fiverr, and there's other ones, I think there's Freelancer or freelance.io, something like that. They're all good. They're all great because you will find easier jobs on there as well. People will be looking for a lot less money on Fiverr though, so it depends what your price range is. I mean, I never drop a website below 2 to 3 grand minimum, and that's even with a discount. Most people should aim for a lot higher. I think web developers sell themselves too cheap nowadays. You're doing a bespoke skill. You've spent years learning a programming language to then just give a website for like £100, and you're like, damn, man, that's selling yourself cheap. I wouldn't. Go higher, but if you want to go on Fiverr and start off small, maybe get a few projects under your belt. Do a couple of freebies if you need to. Just get some projects under your belt, and people will start seeing that you've done these projects, and then the people you've done projects for will recommend you as well. So that's my biggest, my way of making most money. The people I've done websites for before have all turned around and said, oh, this guy's really good. Go check him out. And that's what I've boosted, basically. That's where I get. Most of my things are referrals. I've observed that the top players in banking industry are somewhat obsessed with sticking to Angular. I have seen that. Yeah, I actually know what you're on about there. A lot of like older like banks and stuff like that all do go for Angular. Recently, they are choosing React over Angular for front ends. Unfortunately, Vue does not come in that picture. Is it because of their conservative approach when it comes to technology? I think the reason being is because React is backed by Facebook, a massive corporation. Angular is backed by Google, a massive corporation. Whereas Vue is backed by people. And where you're a big company yourself, when you're a bank, you want to use something that's backed by a big company itself. Because if anything goes wrong, it's not really liable on them when it's React or a web framework. But it's like you're most likely got the support out there for those bigger platforms. I think Vue will grow though, and I think people will start seeing. It's all depend on the developers. Most people who are in banking have had their web team for a long time. They all need these people, so new people coming in can't really change their minds. But yeah, I think it's something that will change in the future, and just keep an eye out for it. It will start changing over time. One Ball Sport said, if you have any questions for Tyler while he's not streaming, check out his Twitter. Thank you, Dylan. Man, this guy is a hype man. Guys, don't forget, Dylan, he's a gamer. He loves playing video games. Go check out his channel. He's commenting in the things. He's an awesome guy. Just a quick shout out to him, because he is one of my, I'm going to call it, he's one of my best friends at the minute, and I love this guy. Lakshman said, have you planned to do a live code review stream for web projects? Yes, you know what? That is a great idea. I hadn't thought about it until you've just mentioned it, but that is a good idea, and I will write that. I have nowhere to write down, but I will remember that and write it down after this stream. We've got about 5-10 minutes left on this stream, guys, so fire away all your questions. Logo Geek said, how many languages do you use to develop a single website? Or if I rephrase my question, how many languages we should be familiar with to develop one complete website? Okay, let's talk about what a website is built off. It's built upon a website. It's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They're the 3 main components. HTML is the backbone of everything. And listen, people say, oh yeah, but you just need to know React or something, and it's all fit in one. It's not. You need to know HTML. You're doing HTML. You're going to be writing HTML. So you need to know HTML. It's a given. You need to learn that. You need to learn CSS. You need to know how to style a page. You can use a framework such as Tailwind, Bootstrap and stuff like that. But the problem is you're going to lose that customization, the ability to customize a lot of things, which is going to really be harmful for you. You need to know JavaScript if you want to make it interactive, click events and stuff like that. And let's say server side, if you're doing both, you're going to need to learn PHP or Node.js or one of the following languages to be able to do the backend. But the main thing is the first three: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Once you've learned those for front end, if you learn a back-end language, PHP, Node.js, something like that, you'll be able to build it. Or you could kind of learn WordPress PHP, which is actually easier. It's basically just a bunch of functions you call. And then you can use WordPress, which will be your back-end. You don't really have to think about it too much. So that's hopefully that answers your question. Nahid said, awesome video. Thank you very much. Rasif said, sorry, one more question. Don't be sorry, man. Ask as many questions as you want. If I don't get to them, then send them on my Twitter and I'll answer them there. Why Node.js or PHP are used to read and write files from operating systems and even make music player? Why are they used? Because they're the only things that you can access a file system with. You can't access a file system from a browser due to security and reasons. On a server, though, you can use Node.js, which actually obviously can interact with the server's file system. You can't interact with your own unless you send it via a form or some other. I think form is pretty much the only way you can send it, or a post request, or you basically have to send data across to the server, because the server can handle PHP and Node.js are both able to handle connecting with data on your server, on your file system. And for a music player, obviously you need to save those files into a server. You can upload files and stuff like that. It's all about security, whereas front end can't. So I think hopefully that answers your question. We'll be waiting for that live stream. It will come out hopefully eventually. Mohammed said, thanks Tyler, what is the future for both functional programming and OOP, object-oriented programming, for people who don't know what that is? Which one going to be the loser? Neither. They're both going to rise together. Functional programming, I still use it in some projects. Object-oriented programming, I actually use less, I think, but I still think it's a massive concept to think about. Obviously, React's moving away from it, but React use it. Obviously, you've got all those big platforms still supporting it in most cases. Object-oriented programming is still great, and so is functional programming. They both have their benefits and their downfalls, but neither of them will be a loser. They both will rise. It's however your preferences. If you prefer doing object-oriented, or if you do prefer doing functional. People get in their workflows and they just use that workflow. Hardik said, if possible, can you reshare the link of your shop? Also, any tutorials or documentation to WordPress along with WooCommerce. My shop is here. One sec, I'll send it in here. I think it will allow me. There's my link. I don't even know if it's up. Wait, let me double check. It is up. Hey, there's a couple of products on there. If you want to buy them, feel free. And then also any tutorials or documentation to learn WordPress along with WooCommerce. WordPress, PHP, there's a lot. WordPress has this codex, this developer book sort of thing. It's not a book, it's on the web. But you can learn it from there. I mean, you've got loads of tutorials online. I won't be able to share them now because it'll take me too long to get them all, but I will maybe put on my Twitter or something, or even put in a separate video to do that, just so I can maybe even do a tutorial on WordPress if people are interested in that. Most people are normally interested in JavaScript and stuff like that. That's why I never post about WordPress, but I'm actually mainly a WordPress developer nowadays, so that's kind of where we're at. So if you want me to do more WordPress and like e-commerce, WooCommerce, stuff like that, I'm happy to do so in the future. Lakshman said, when can we say that we are a full stack developer? When you've built an application with a full stack, to be fair, that's the only way you can say it. But I mean, if you know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and let's say a backend framework like Node.js or PHP, and you're building full stack applications, or you know the MERN stack and you've built a full stack application, you can and will be classed as a full stack developer. As long as you've built something that shows that you've done it, you can improve it. You could be one right now, even if you haven't built one, but most people believe you once you have built a project with it. Ilad said, hey Tyler, could we see a Firebase project based on your channel? Yes, you can. The only reason I haven't done that yet is because I need to do like a Firebase basics tutorial, like a really simple one, then I can do a more in-depth one, mixing it in with React and stuff. So I think we'll do something, a setup version, and then we'll go into a proper big Firebase project. I'm actually kind of saving it for a course I'm working on, but we won't talk about that. That's a secret. We won't talk about that right now. Agnesa, sorry if I butcher any names, by the way, I'm really sorry. Can I integrate Microsoft Teams in my website and make video calls within the website? I don't know. I hate Microsoft Teams because it doesn't work on my Mac properly. It keeps crashing and it has loads of issues. So I haven't looked into Microsoft Teams at all. So I can't really answer your question. I'm sorry. Again, Dylan is hyping me up, guys. Give Dylan some love. One Ball Spall in the chat. He's awesome. Check out his channel. It's fun and funny and great content. Hardik says, that would be great, thanks. You're welcome. And SM said, hi, Tyler, love from Bangladesh. Hey, Bangladesh, how are you doing? Anyway, so, guys, this is coming to an end in literally a minute. So, any more questions, fire them out. I'm going to go... I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes of this because I'm enjoying it. So fire your questions away. I am enjoying myself. So we'll stay for 5 more minutes. And then I've got to get back to work, as my boss will notice that. Well, I've still got 15 minutes but until I have to get back to work. But we're only doing 5 more minutes because I need to get lunch. You know how it is. You guys know how it is. We have died with questions, though. No one has asked the question. Any questions at all, even if it's not about web development, fire them away and we'll talk about it. Vue or React? Vue. In my personal opinion, I prefer Vue.js, but that doesn't mean React is bad. I love both. I will use both and I'll keep doing tutorials on both, but Vue is my favourite. Bam. Reasoning, because, I don't know, I just prefer how Vue handles everything and how it looks and how clean it is and, template, script, styles. I like it. I guess while we're here, if no one's asking any more questions right now, I'll just quickly throw out some things. If you want to check me out on Twitter, it's down here. I'm just waiting to see how this looks. You can check out my Twitter. You can check out my Instagram. I post to them quite regularly. Instagram less as much. Twitter pretty much every single day. And yeah, so check those out. Hardik says, is Tailwind going to be a next big thing after Bootstrap and Foundation? I liked Tailwind for a week. I built a couple of big websites in it, and then I hated it because I realized that when I went back to maintain a website, there's way too many classes. There was too many classes. I had no idea what I was doing, and it was horrible. But Tailwind isn't bad. It is good, and it looks pretty awesome. It makes it really quick to wireframe websites. If you're doing an app that's only ever going to have one theme and you're not really going to change the styling too much, it's great. Going back to maintain stuff, however, the code looks messy, and I don't like it. But, that's just my opinion. But Tailwind is going to be a big thing. I think it is a big thing, and I think it will carry on. But I don't even use Bootstrap. I've built my own Bootstrap, so it's basically just stealing Bootstrap's idea for grids and then with a lightweight version. It's a lot easier. What's your favorite movie? So it's changed. It's My Hero Academia: Heroes Rising. I've watched it 3 times. It only was released in English less than a month ago. It's great. I love it. It's got everything I love in a anime film. It's awesome. Would you class? It's definitely a movie, right? It's classed as a movie. That's my favorite. Nahid said C or Python. C for me. I've actually only learned Python a little bit. I've learned C a lot more. So, but I am planning to learn Python a lot more. So maybe I'll expand my knowledge and I'll change my mind. Love from Iran. Hey, Iran, how are you all doing? What is the main benefit in Next.js? Server-side rendering. Yeah, probably server-side rendering, right? SSR, good old SSR. And just, it's basically bridges the gap between creating a separate server and a client side. It's all in one, so that's probably the best benefit of it, I guess. That's literally the whole point of it. Sup, Jester CW, how are you doing? Love from the UK. One Ball Spall. Lakshman said, learning problem solving with Python is different from other languages or not, because Python has I've only learned Python a little bit. I don't actually know much about it. Lucas and how to innovate in the market of web development by order. How to innovate in the market of web development by order. I don't understand the question. Can you reword that? One big monitor versus dual monitor. I prefer 2 monitors. One big monitor is still cool, but having a singular monitor and then another monitor to have, let's say, things you copy across is a lot easier for me because I can have a full screen application and another full screen application rather than separating windows and placing them all over the place. I prefer 2 monitors. Joshua said, how to approach a technical interview. Have all your cards out. No, make sure you've done your research on what the thing you're going in for. So if you're going in for, let's say, a digital agency which does a variety of things, you're going to need to learn a lot of variety of things. They're going to ask you a lot of questions. Some of the questions will be simple, like literally how do you do, like it could be as simple as how do you submit a form to a server or something like that. But it could be as complicated as how do you use salts and what are salts and hashes used for and stuff like that. And it can go into like complete security, and it just depends what you're going for. But literally make sure you're learning everything you think you need to learn. And even if you don't get you don't get all the questions right, they will see that you have put in some effort to learn, and they will take that into account. Lakshman said, what are things we can do once we have done a full stack web project leaving job? What are things we can do once we have done full stack web projects leaving job? Wait, you're leaving your job? Or I won't leave your job unless you've got multiple and you've already got freelance clients who are going to maintain your current salary, because that would be bad. But you can, once you've done full stack web projects, you want to build your own portfolio and show them off. You want to get free, if you want to do freelance, that is, you get freelance clients in, you get all the good stuff and that. SM said WordPress or Webflow. WordPress, I way prefer WordPress. Webflow's cool, but definitely WordPress. And sorry, I don't think I answered on how to improve and practice JavaScript programs for interviews. Practice JavaScript programs for interviews. Again, it's practice. You just got to keep learning. You want to learn all the stuff you do with a standard website, like button clicks, events, listeners, all that sort of thing. You want to learn. You want to just build big projects, like even if it's a simple website with animations, you want to learn all that, because when they come to interviews, most people just want to know, can you do what their clients need? So that's what you need. Yeah, and that's what Ball just said. Practice makes perfect. Except job I was asking. Lakshman said, also except for jobs. Oh, right. So what full stack project, what are things we can do once we have done full stack web projects except job? I would say, I don't know if I'm understanding the question correctly, but just literally make sure you've got this big portfolio of stuff. You make sure you're building up all these projects, and you just got to make sure people are aware this is what you're doing. Okay, this is going to be the last 2 questions I'm answering, guys, so thank you very much, but here we go. So I recently made a web app to watch all videos of playlist channels on a single page. How do you think I should promote it? I'd use social medias, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that to promote it. If you really want to promote it, and if it's going to make you money, you need to use advertising. You want to advertise it using either Google Ads or something similar. It's the best way to promote. Share it with your friends, share it with other developers, tell them about it, get them to help you share it, stuff like that. It's the best way. Lucas answered, how does a graduate innovate in the web development market? After all, nowadays companies choose to drag and drop services to make their websites or hire companies establish in markets. No, not necessarily. I make a lot of my clients from just referrals from websites I've done. I think the best way you can be better than other people is to stand out. You need to build a good portfolio of projects you've done. Drag and drop can only get you so far. People are going to need custom stuff. Drag and drop is a poor company's way of building a website, no offense to them. If you want a proper website done properly, you want something that's built bespokely, and it will be 10 times better, it will work better if it's built by a proper developer. So you just need to show them that you can do that. Oh, he means except leaving his job. I'm so confused, sorry. There's so many questions, guys. I can't answer all these now. I have to end this stream here. I'm going to answer this last one. What are a few things which we must have on a portfolio website? Your portfolio website is one of those things. So you need to have a portfolio website because it shows off that you can build simple things. You want to build a simple project. You maybe want, let's say, a CRUD. You want to show that you can use create, read, update, and delete stuff. So maybe a to-do list sounds bad. A to-do list app shows you can do all those things in a web app, and that's what most web apps are, cruds. You want it shows CMS, so a content management system such as WordPress or something like, not necessarily WordPress, it can be anything, even if you've built your own, although I don't recommend it, there's so many out there, just use one which is already out there, but if you want to build your own, you can. And then you also need some sort of animation, something pretty, if you're going for a front-end job, it is something pretty, something that stands out as well, and you just need to keep adding to it, basically. The more projects you have, the more people you're going to appeal to. So I can't give you specific things, but you definitely need a variety of things, and I would say there is so many more you could have. Anyway, guys, this is the end of this stream because I need to get back to working. I have 5 minutes to get food, so you can see how much rush I'm going to be. Rushed. It's fine. But anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning into today's stream. It's been an absolute blast. I love doing these things. I don't know why I don't do them more often. But thank you, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. And smash that like button on this video because it does help all these little bits. Add some comments, do whatever you guys do to, hype it up. Hi, Scott. Bye, Scott. Sorry, dudes. You're slightly late. Well, I'll do another one soon, okay? All right. Thanks, guys. And peace out.